Hello everyone and welcome to yet another video from Fluffy Time. Has your dog ever had a strange behavior and suddenly something happens? Does your dog sniff you all the time? Does your dog lick you all the time? Well, you may want to stay till the end of this video because they're sensing or trying to tell you something. In today's video, we will decode the 16 shocking things your dog can sense about you and what they're trying to tell you by their actions. The last one isn't what you would expect, so stick around to find out. Let's dive straight into it. Number 16. Your fear and anxiety. Imagine sitting nervously on the couch, watching a scary movie, and your dog suddenly creeps away and hides under the bed. Dogs are masters at reading fear. When we're frightened or anxious, our bodies release sweat and pheromones with chemical signals of stress. A study found that dogs can actually smell our fear. They detect those changes in our scent that humans can't perceive. In fact, Dr. Sarah Wooten explains that you simply cannot hide fear from dogs. When researchers exposed dogs to fear odors, sweat from scared people, the dogs displayed stress behaviors and elevated heart rates, the classic fight or flight response. In short, if you're shaking inside, your pooch knows it and reacts accordingly. For example, many owners note their dog becomes extremely attentive or subdued when they're anxious, as if saying, "I know you're scared. I'm here." Number 15. Your sadness and crying empathy. Dogs are also keenly aware of sadness and often try to comfort us when we're upset. If you're crying or depressed, your dog may come over and gently nudge or lick you, as if to make you feel better. Psychologists have confirmed this empathy. In one experiment, people pretended to cry and others hummed a song. Most dogs immediately approached whomever was crying, whether it was their owner or a stranger. This shows dogs respond to the emotion itself, not just the person. Many pet owners share stories to match. One woman's Labrador quietly sat at her feet until she stopped crying, offering silent support. Dogs might rest their heads on your lap, lick away tears, or simply sit close when they sense you're sad. In short, dogs sense your sorrow and often try to help, just like a loyal friend. Number 14. Your illness or disease. One of the most astonishing superpowers of dogs is detecting illness. Our dogs don't need a lab test. Their noses can sniff out disease. Research shows dogs can detect many kinds of cancer and illness by smelling the volatile organic compounds, VOCs, our bodies emit. For example, Medical News Today explains that dogs have sniffed out breast, colorectal, lung, ovarian, prostate, and other cancers. One case report describes a man whose dog persistently licked a spot behind his ear. Doctors later found it was malignant melanoma. Dogs pick up these chemical changes in our skin, breath, or urine with incredible accuracy, often outperforming early medical screenings. Dogs also sense other serious conditions. Diabetes alert dogs can detect a dangerous drop in blood sugar. Scientists found that when a diabetic's blood sugar falls, their breath releases more of a chemical called isoprene. A dog's nose can pick up even this tiny change, waking someone up or alerting them before they pass out. Similarly, seizure alert dogs have saved lives by foreseeing epileptic episodes. While the science is still emerging, many reports note dogs whine or act strangely minutes to hours before their owner has a seizure. In one review, dogs alerted correctly about 70 to 85% of the time, sometimes hours in advance. Scientists think dogs may sense subtle shifts, like a faint smell change or a slight movement, that our bodies give off just before a seizure or collapse. In all these ways, dogs truly can sniff out our health issues. Number 13. That you're pregnant. Believe it or not, dogs often seem to sense pregnancy long before a baby is even mentioned. Every pregnant dog owner has heard anecdotes of a dog sniffing bellies or becoming extra protective. Science hasn't proven it beyond doubt, but it makes sense. Pregnancy changes a woman's hormones and body odor. Dogs have up to 60 times more scent receptors than we do, and studies note they can distinguish thousands of odors, including subtle shifts from diet, illness, or hormones. Even if your dog doesn't know the word pregnant, they do notice that something about you has changed. Many stories confirm this. One family dog refused to leave his owner's side whenever she was pregnant and would sniff her belly constantly. An AKC article recounts a Vizsla that wouldn't stop sniffing the mother's abdomen and became fiercely protective as soon as she was expecting. Another reported their dog woke everyone up at the usual feeding time, early in the morning, because it sensed the pregnancy cravings already affecting the schedule. Vets think dogs pick up on the pregnancy smell and the mother's altered behavior. So if your pooch suddenly starts acting extra responsible or clingy, check if there might be a tiny new friend on the way. Number 12. Danger and intruders. Dogs evolved as companions and protectors, so it's natural they can sense danger around us. We've all heard stories of a dog growling at a stranger who later turned out to be trouble. What's really happening is dogs pick up on subtle cues, the sound of hurried footsteps, the smell of fear on a nervous person, or an aggressive stance. They watch body language and tune into human pheromones. For instance, a person who is about to do something risky often has a spike in stress hormones, and dogs can smell these chemicals on their skin or breath. Even if you don't see the threat, your dog might. Many news reports tell of dogs alerting families before burglaries or warning their owners of hidden dangers by barking because they sensed something was off. Science backs this up. Dogs learn very quickly if a person's signals don't match reality. In one clever experiment, dogs learned not to follow a person's pointing gesture after that person had misled them once. Similarly, dogs pay attention to our consistency. If someone points toward an empty plate repeatedly, dogs remember and won't trust that person's direction again. In everyday life, this means your dog can pick up on who acts suspiciously. A dog might shiver or bark at a stranger giving off aggressive vibes, even if you think everything's fine. While folklore might say it's a sixth sense, it's really your dog using every shred of evidence, sound, smell, and sight to protect you. Trust your dog's warning. They're often right. Number 11. Trustworthiness and your character. Beyond immediate danger, dogs also judge the people in our lives. Are they consistently kind and predictable, or hot-tempered and unreliable? Dogs notice this too. For example, research by Akiko Takaoka and colleagues showed that dogs remember if a person tricked them. Dogs in an experiment would ignore an unreliable person the next time they were pointed to a treat. They essentially decided, that person lied, so I won't trust them. In practice, this means dogs will warm up to people who are gentle and honest with them and keep their distance from those who are rough or erratic. A dog doesn't have words for nice or not nice, but they understand patterns. Someone who always plays softly and feeds them will be a beloved friend, while someone who yells or pulls away is learned to be untrustworthy. Over years, dogs have honed their social intelligence with humans, so your dog is likely assessing everyone's character just by how they act around you and your family. Number 10. Approaching storms and weather. If you've ever wondered why dogs sometimes act oddly before it rains or thunder roars, here's the reason. Dogs can sense weather changes long before we do. They have incredibly sharp hearing and a super sensitive nose. Dogs can hear the distant rumble of thunder or the crack of lightning far off in the distance, and they might even pick up on static electricity or changes in air pressure that precede a storm. For example, many dog owners note their pet's behavior becomes agitated as a storm front moves in. How Stuff Works explains that dogs' biology gives them an upper hand in predicting storms. If humans can sometimes smell the ozone that comes before rain, dogs can smell it much sooner. They might sense the sudden stillness of the air or smell an approaching downpour. In response, dogs often hide, shake, or pace around anxiously. It's not magic. It's their extra senses responding to the cues of a storm. So next time your dog paces before the thunder, just remember, they've already seen the dark clouds and heard the first low growl of thunder before we do. Number 9. Earthquakes and natural disasters. Our canine friends might even sense earthquakes before they happen. This old belief has some scientific merit. In one study of a Siberian earthquake, a surprisingly large number of dogs began barking, howling, or acting anxious minutes to hours before the quake struck. Another controlled study observed farm animals, including dogs, and found that they became unusually restless about 20 hours to 1 hour before seismic activity, especially closer to the epicenter. So what are dogs picking up? Psychologist Dr. Stanley Coren did a survey of dogs before a 6.8 magnitude quake in the Pacific Northwest. He found that on the day before the quake, nearly half the dogs showed a significant anxiety spike. Crucially, dogs with hearing impairments did all not show this reaction. suggesting hearing is key. The theory is that dogs hear the high-frequency rumblings of shifting earth or feel tiny precursor vibrations that humans can't detect. Other ideas include sensing subtle electrical or magnetic changes. Whatever the trigger, the evidence suggests dogs can notice something that signals big trouble is coming. It's not psychic power, but an incredible use of hearing and intuition. In a pinch, paying attention to your dog's restlessness might just give you those precious extra moments to prepare. Number 8, your daily schedule and routine. Don't underestimate your dog's internal clock. They may not tell time with a watch, but they know your schedule. Dogs live by routine. They can sense morning versus night by light changes, feel their hormones shift with mealtimes, and even pick up on the scent of how long you've been away. Research indicates dogs have strong circadian rhythms and scent memory. Psychologist Alexandra Horowitz notes that dogs smell the passage of time. When you leave the house, your odor is strongest. As hours pass and your smell fades, that signals to your dog that your absence is growing longer. One study even suggests that when a person's scent in the house reaches a certain low level, the dog begins to expect the person's return. In practice, this is why your dog often seems to know when it's time to eat or go for a walk. Many owners report their dog starts waiting by the door exactly at their usual arrival time. For example, if you consistently come home at 6 p.m., don't be surprised when at 5:55 p.m., your dog suddenly pricks its ears, ready at the window. These aren't just tricks. Dogs use environmental cues, internal hunger signals, and changes in your scent to keep track of your daily routine. Number 7, when you're about to leave, vacation or trip. If there's one thing dogs really hate, it's being left behind, and they usually know exactly when it's coming. This is known as the packing syndrome. Dogs pick up on cues that signal your departure. It could be the distinctive crinkle of suitcases, the clink of your keys, or even the sudden focused energy you put into packing. Over time, dogs learn that these actions mean you're going away. Behaviorists note that many dogs suddenly become clingy or subdued the moment their owner starts packing. For example, one dog blogger humorously describes a dog that slunk into a corner in a mild depression as soon as the suitcase came out. Owners around the world have similar tales. The moment a travel bag emerges, their dog follows them around and won't let go. There's science behind it too. Dogs learn by association. If grabbing the bag always means the owner leaves for an extended time, the dog will react accordingly whenever it sees that bag. Some trainers even recommend desensitizing exercises, like packing over and over without leaving, to break this cycle. But honestly, dogs are pretty clever about this. In our countdown, this ranks as a top ability. Yes, dogs know when you're preparing to depart. Pay attention to them at that moment, and you might even get a sniff of your vacation plans. Number 6, ghosts, spirits, and bad vibes. Now we get into the realm of legend and lore. For centuries, people have suspected dogs can see ghosts or sense spirits. Although science hasn't found proof of actual ghosts, dogs have been linked to the supernatural in many cultures. Ancient Egyptians had Anubis, a jackal-headed god, guiding souls. The Greeks had Cerberus guarding Hades, and various folk stories speak of ghostly black dogs appearing as omens of death. In more recent times, plenty of pet owners swear they've seen their dog stare fixedly at nothing, growl at empty corners, or show heightened alertness in old houses and graveyards. From a scientific angle, the explanation is usually simpler. Dogs have ears and noses far more sensitive than ours, so a dog that's barking at a dark hallway might just be hearing the heating system kick in or smelling a critter behind the wall. Connect Paranormal notes that people have long believed dogs are supposed to be able to smell or see ghosts, often acting protective or scared. Whether or not any ghosts are involved, the key is dogs notice things we don't. If your dog's hackles rise in a room where you feel uneasy, it's at least worth checking if there's a real source, a rodent, a stranger's scent, or a draft, before blaming the paranormal. In the end, these stories remind us just how alert dogs can be to the unseen. Number 5, predicting your return. Dogs seem to have a remarkable knack for knowing when you're about to come home. Many dog parents report that their pet already sits by the door moments before they arrive, as if on cue. How do they do it? Partly by scent and partly by routine. When you drive home, even a few blocks away, trace amounts of your scent, like your laundry detergent or perfume, can ride on the breeze. Dogs can detect these faint odors long before you open the front door. Alexandra Horowitz points out that a strengthening scent wafting indoors tells your dog you're near. Beyond smell, dogs have learned the pattern of your day. If you normally walk through the door at 6 p.m., your dog will start expecting it. Some owners even notice their dog gets excited just a couple of minutes before any slight deviation in schedule, as if checking its internal clock. This sense of anticipation is partly conditioning, but partly true time sensing. Experiments show dogs have some sense of episodic memory and can recall learned schedules. So when you think your dog is being psychic, it's usually an expert combination of scent detection and memory. But the result is the same. Your loyal dog is almost always ready to greet you exactly when you appear. Number 4, seizures and blood sugar drops. We've already seen that dogs can sense general illness. Taking it further, dogs can also pick up on specific medical emergencies. Many people with epilepsy rely on seizure alert dogs. These dogs seem to sense a seizure coming before any obvious symptoms. Reports show dogs whining, barking, or acting unusual before their owner has a seizure. In one analysis, dogs alerted with 70 to 85% accuracy, sometimes as much as 5 hours in advance. Although research is still clarifying how, the theory is that dogs detect minute changes in body odor, heart rate, or behavior that hint a seizure is imminent. Likewise, diabetic alert dogs can literally save lives. When blood sugar drops to dangerous levels, a person's breath chemistry changes. Scientists found a spike in a compound called isoprene during hypoglycemia. A sharp-nosed dog will smell even this subtle change and react. There are news stories, like of a Labrador named Jedi, who woke his family in the middle of the night because he smelled the boy's blood sugar dropping to dangerous levels. In these situations, dogs give owners an early warning. It may not be magic, but it certainly feels miraculous when a dog wakes you up just in time for medication. In short, dogs' extraordinary senses extend to detecting hidden emergencies like impending seizures or diabetic crashes. Number 3, imminent death and otherworldly sense. This is perhaps the most eerie ability attributed to dogs, sensing death. Across cultures, dogs have been seen as guides for souls. The Aztecs believed Xolotl, a dog-headed god, guided the dead, and in Europe a howling dog was considered an omen of death. In modern times, there are heartbreaking anecdotes. A hospice nurse once reported a therapy dog lying calmly next to a patient who passed away shortly after, as if knowing the end was near. Families have long claimed their dog remained unusually quiet or attentive beside a loved one's sickbed just before the person died. Scientifically, what's likely happening is dogs detect subtle end-of-life changes in a person. Perhaps the dog senses weakening breathing, a fading heartbeat, or chemicals released by the body. For example, some veterinarians note that dogs will not leave the side of a very ill person and sometimes won't look away from their face, almost as if they know the human is on their final hours. Though researchers haven't fully proven a death sense, the pattern of reports is striking. In folklore terms, dogs were often thought to escort souls to the afterlife. Whether myth or medicine, countless dog owners insist their pet behaved as if it knew when a family member was about to pass. It's a sad power, but it underscores the depth of the dog-human bond. They stay with us, aware even until the very end. Number 2, your personal scent. Dogs identify everything about you by scent. Each person has a unique odor signature, composed of the foods we eat, the shampoo we use, even the natural oils of our skin. Dogs remember that whole scent profile. When you walk into a room, your dog is essentially saying, "Ah, there's my master." They will sniff eagerly at your hands, feet, or clothes because those carry your distinct aroma. This also explains why a dog quickly recognizes different family members. Even twins can be distinguished by a dog if their scents differ. Every time you change outfits or come back from a run, your smell is slightly different, and your dog instantly notices. In fact, professional scent-tracking dogs are often tested on their own handler's clothes. They can pick out their owner from a lineup by smell alone. In short, a dog's knowledge of who you are is primarily a sniff in the nose. Number 1, your love and loyalty. Finally, the most magical thing a dog can sense is the bond between you. dogs and feel how much you love and care for them. They pick up on your gentle touches, happy voice tones, and affectionate energy. Science even shows that gazing into each other's eyes boosts oxytocin, the love hormone, in both dog and human. They know when you're smiling at them, praising them, or cuddling them. All of these give off positive emotional cues that your dog reads expertly. In return, a dog's loyal behavior, wagging tail, wagging their off, is their way of telling you they know you're their person. The mutual love you share creates a familiar and comforting environment for your pup. So the number one thing dogs sense about us is the love we give them. They know when they are cherished, and they cherish us right back, with every bark and every soft paw. When your dog gazes up at you lovingly or cuddles close during a scary movie, it's because they feel your heart as strongly as you feel theirs. What's your dog's intuition like? If your pup has ever warned you of danger, clung to you during a storm, or simply knew something big was going to happen, now you know it's not in your head. Our furry friends possess senses and instincts that continue to amaze us. Share your own dog's intuitive moments in the comments below. We'd love to hear any spooky or heartwarming stories of how your pet sensed the unseen. And if you enjoyed learning about these incredible canine superpowers, do not forget to subscribe for more fascinating dog stories. See you on the next one.